You're a single woman on a mission to find your dream home. You've saved up, scoured listings, and now you're ready to take the plunge. But what if I told you that your perfect home could turn into a nightmare just because of the type of property you choose? Intrigued? You should be. Stick around because we're about to uncover the shocking truth about the types of homes you should never buy. First up, let's talk about fixer-uppers. Sure, they might seem like a great deal at first. A little elbow grease and you've got yourself a cozy nest, right? Wrong. These homes can quickly turn into money pits. Think about it. Endless renovations, hidden structural issues, and skyrocketing costs. You start with a budget and end up spending twice as much. You find a charming old house with good bones. You imagine giving it a fresh coat of paint, maybe updating the kitchen, and voila, a perfect home. But then reality hits. You peel back that wallpaper only to find mold. You pull up the carpet and discover damaged floorboards. What seemed like a minor electrical fix turns into a full rewiring job because the house hasn't been updated in decades. Each new discovery comes with a hefty price tag and a fresh wave of stress. And let's not forget the stress. You're juggling work, personal life, and now a massive renovation project. Coordinating contractors, securing permits, and managing unexpected delays can become a full-time job. Imagine coming home from a long day at work, only to face more chaos and construction in your living space. Your weekends are no longer relaxing. They're filled with trips to hardware stores and endless DIY projects that never seem to end. Moreover, there's the emotional toll. Living in a construction zone can be draining. Dust everywhere, constant noise, and the uncertainty of not knowing when it will all be over. Your sanctuary is supposed to be a place of peace and comfort, but instead it becomes a source of anxiety and frustration. The dream of creating a personalized space turns into a nightmare of endless decisions and mounting bills. Let's not forget the infamous old houses with charm. They lure you in with their quaint architecture and history. The intricate woodwork, vintage fixtures, and storied past can make these homes incredibly appealing. You walk through the door and are transported to another era, imagining the life these walls have seen. But here's the dark side. Ancient plumbing, outdated electrical systems, and questionable insulation. Imagine moving in only to find out you need to replace the entire plumbing system. That vintage clawfoot tub, it's connected to pipes that are as old as the house itself, prone to leaks and blockages. Suddenly, your romantic notions are replaced with the harsh reality of constant plumbing issues and the expense of modernizing a system that's been neglected for decades. Or worse, you have to rewire the house because it's a fire hazard. Those charming antique light fixtures might be hiding dangerously outdated wiring. Electrical standards have evolved significantly over the years, and old wiring can pose serious safety risks. The last thing you want is to risk an electrical fire in your new home. Rewiring a house is not only costly but also invasive, requiring walls to be opened up and disrupting your daily life. And then there's the issue of modern living. Old houses were not designed with contemporary lifestyles in mind. Small closets, outdated kitchens, and lack of modern amenities can make daily life more challenging. You might find yourself constantly adapting to the quirks of the house rather than enjoying a space that fits your needs. So, unless you're a vintage home expert or have a deep passion and budget for restoration, it's best to leave these relics in the past. They might look charming, but the reality is often far more complicated and costly than it seems. Now, let's talk about properties in sketchy neighborhoods. The price might be tempting, but the risks are high. Safety should always be a top priority, especially for single women. Crime rates, poor infrastructure, and lack of amenities can turn your dream home into a living nightmare. Let's start with crime rates. In areas with high crime rates, the risk of becoming a victim of theft, burglary, or even violent crime increases significantly. This isn't just about statistics. It's about your day-to-day life. The constant anxiety can be mentally exhausting and take away from the joy of owning your own place. Consider the impact on your social life. Friends and family might be hesitant to visit you in a sketchy neighborhood, and you might feel isolated. Social activities that you enjoy, such as going out for a jog, visiting a nearby cafe, or simply spending time outdoors, can become limited or stressful. This isolation can lead to feelings of loneliness and dissatisfaction with your living situation. Economic factors also come into play. Homes in sketchy neighborhoods often have lower property values and slower appreciation rates. This means that your investment might not grow as you hope, and selling the property in the future could be challenging. Potential buyers will have the same concerns about safety and amenities, making it difficult to get a good return on your investment. In the long run, the initial savings of purchasing a cheap home in a bad neighborhood are often outweighed by the costs, both financial and emotional. Higher insurance premiums, increased security measures, and potential property damage add up quickly. And the toll on your mental health from constant worry and stress is immeasurable. Another trap to avoid is the remote countryside dream. It sounds idyllic, a peaceful retreat away from the hustle and bustle. But reality check, isolation can be challenging. Long commutes, limited access to healthcare, and scarce social opportunities can make country living less appealing. Imagine needing a doctor and the nearest one is an hour away, or craving a social life but finding there's nowhere to go. Before you romanticize the rural life, consider the practicalities. A dream home should enhance your life, not complicate it. Beware of flood-prone properties. They might look beautiful, especially those with scenic views near water bodies. The allure of waking up to the sound of a gentle river or the sight of a serene lake can be incredibly enticing. You imagine lazy afternoons on the porch, watching the sunlight dance on the water. But with beauty comes risk. Flood damage is not just about water, it's about mold, structural damage, and endless repairs. When a property is prone to flooding, it's not just the initial water damage you have to worry about. Floodwaters can seep into the foundation, weakening the structural integrity of the entire house. Over time, this can lead to cracks, shifts, and even collapse if not addressed properly. And the water doesn't just stay outside, it infiltrates your home, soaking carpets, walls, and furniture. The cleanup process is exhaustive and expensive, often requiring professional services to ensure that all moisture is removed to prevent further damage. And let's not forget about the aftermath. Even after the immediate damage is repaired, you're left with the constant worry of it happening again. Every heavy rain or storm becomes a source of anxiety. As you brace yourself for the possibility of another flood, the stress and uncertainty can take a significant toll on your mental well-being, overshadowing the enjoyment of your picturesque surroundings. Insurance is another critical factor. Properties in high-risk flood areas come with exorbitant insurance costs, adding to your financial burden. Flood insurance is essential, but it doesn't come cheap. Premiums can be sky-high, and in some cases, coverage may not even be available or sufficient to cover all potential damages. The costs can quickly add up, making what seemed like an affordable dream home an ongoing financial drain. So, always check the flood history and insurance requirements before falling in love with that waterfront property. Look into past flooding incidents, the effectiveness of local flood defenses, and future projections for flood risks in the area. Consult with experts such as flood risk assessors and insurance providers to get a clear picture of what you're signing up for. It's better to invest time in thorough research than to face the devastating consequences of an ill-informed decision. Remember, a beautiful view is not worth the potential for disaster. Make sure your dream home is truly a safe and secure investment, not a gamble with your future.